What truly makes someone great? I mean, is it inherited talent, sheer luck, or maybe something else entirely?
Mm-hmm.
Today, we're taking a deep dive into an idea that might challenge some of our modern assumptions. It's an answer that comes from, well, a pretty unexpected place. A book published way back in 1859.
That's right. Welcome, everyone, to this deep dive into Self-Help by Samuel Smiles. Our mission really is to pull out the most potent insights from this incredibly influential guide, timeless, really.
It was definitely a cornerstone of Victorian values, wasn't it?
Absolutely, a guide to personal growth, perseverance, character development.
And you might be thinking, 1859, how can that speak to us today? But its core message, I think, is still profoundly relevant.
Mm-hmm.
That true greatness isn't something you're born with, it's earned.
Earned, exactly, through diligent effort, self-improvement. And it's crucial to note it's not just a manual for, say, getting rich.
Right. It's much more manifesto for building moral strength.
Precisely. So throughout this deep dive, you'll hear some surprising stories. Inventors, entrepreneurs, artists, everyday workers, folks who rose from really humble beginnings.
Yeah, Smiles believed individuals could truly take control of their destinies through things like education, integrity, and just sheer perseverance.
So our goal is to give you a shortcut, sort of, to understanding these powerful ideas, hopefully spark some aha moments, offer practical insights, but, without overloading you.
Ready to dig in?
Let's do it.
Okay, let's unpack this. Smiles kicks things off in Chapter 1 with a pretty bold assertion. I mean, it might sound a little radical even today.
Go on.
He argues that the true character of a nation is directly reflected in the character of its individual people. And he says, no government, no social system can ever replace the power of, well, self-reliant individuals.
It's fascinating, isn't it? His belief that the real wealth isn't money in the bank or gold reserves.
Yeah.
It's the industry, the intelligence, the integrity of its citizens. He really celebrates those who rose by their own steam, The artisan becoming an inventor, the clerk becoming a captain of industry.
It shifts the focus, doesn't it? Away from big institutions and onto the everyday person.
Completely. But, and this is important.
Yeah, we need to clarify this up front. When Smiles talks about self-help, he's absolutely not talking about selfishness.
No, definitely not. He frames it as profound personal responsibility. It's about not expecting others to carry your weight.
Right. It's rising to meet your own challenges with courage, with conviction, owning your path, basically.
Exactly. And this foundational idea, it really sets the stage for everything else he talks about, all those pillars of personal achievement he outlines with these vivid examples.
Self-reliance as a public good, not just a private gain.
That's a great way to put it.
And he definitely doesn't skimp on those examples. Chapter 2, he dives right into perseverance and innovation.
Mm-hmm. Big names.
Yeah. Brings us stories like James Watt, the steam engine guy, and George Stephenson, who started as a miner's son and developed the whole railway system.
Incredible journeys.
What stands out is, like you said, these aren't people born with silver spoons. They shared this intense determination to learn, this amazing ability to overcome failure, and just this relentless commitment to getting better, constant improvement.
And Smiles emphasizes something else, too, which I find really insightful. It wasn't just their brains, their ingenuity.
What else?
Moral courage. He believed that was just as vital for their breakthroughs. It wasn't only about being smart, it was having the grit to keep going.
Facing criticism.
Persisting when anyone else would have just thrown in the towel.
Okay, so this really challenges that idea of genius just being some kind of inborn spark, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And Chapter 3 drives this home with craftsmanship. He profiles the 3 great potters.
Right, tell us about them.
Well, first there's Bernard Palissy, a French potter, spent 16 years in poverty, just constantly experimenting, glazes materials.
16.
Yeah. He even apparently burned his own furniture to keep his kiln going at one point. Yeah. Desperate measures, but he never gave up. And eventually his work was admired all across Europe.
Wow, who else?
Then Johann Butker, actually a fugitive. But under huge pressure from the King of Saxony, he figured out how to make porcelain like the Chinese did. Basically laid the foundation for all European fine china.
Incredible. Under pressure like that.
And the third is Josiah Wedgwood, the English master potter. He wasn't just an artist, he was a visionary. Trained his workers, improved their conditions, turned pottery into this global business.
So what's the connecting thread? What does Smiles want us to see?
It's that raw, unyielding human spirit, that resilience, just refusing to quit no matter how bad things got. Their genius wasn't just skill, it was stubbornness in a way.
So, okay, boiling this down.
Mhm.
What does this mean for us? Smiles makes it super clear in chapter 4, right? Success isn't mainly about genius or luck.
No, it's about application. That's his word.
Application, what does he mean by that exactly?
Not just working hard, but focused, persistent effort over time. Constantly applying yourself to the task at hand.
Like Newton.
Exactly. He uses examples like Sir Isaac Newton, Sir William Herschel. Their brilliance, Smiles argues, wasn't some divine gift. It came from years of disciplined, almost tedious labor.
So he's really criticizing laziness, or just relying on talent.
Yeah, very much so. He hammers home that perseverance, not necessarily brilliance, is the absolute key.
That really challenges how we often think today, doesn't it? We look at successful people and just assume, oh, they're naturally gifted.
Right. But Smiles urges you, the listener, to remember his advice. Start where you are, use what you have, and never despise small beginnings.
It's a powerful reminder. Those huge achievements often start with really small, consistent steps.
And it gets even more compelling in Chapter 5, Opportunity and Adversity.
Especially in science, he says.
Yeah, he shows how many big advances came from people working in really humble conditions. The classic example is Michael Faraday.
Oh, the bookbinder's apprentice.
That's the one. Started out binding books, but had this burning passion for science. He'd literally save scraps of paper just to take notes at scientific lectures he managed to attend.
And he became
One of the greatest experimental physicists in history.
amazing.
And what's so insightful about Faraday's story and Smiles' whole argument here is that real opportunity isn't about having the perfect setup, the fancy lab.
It's internal.
It lies in the will to act. Adversity, he suggests, often fuels that fire. It pushes people because they have no choice but to innovate and persist.
And this same idea, this powerful work ethic, it's not just for scientists or potters.
Nope. Chapter 6, he applies it to art.
Okay. Like who?
Great artists like Giotto, Turner, Canova all came from poverty, rose through sheer relentless dedication to their craft.
So they weren't just waiting for inspiration to strike.
Not at all. They practiced constantly, studied the masters, maintained incredibly high standards. Their genius, Smiles believed, was shaped way more by work ethic than by some fleeting muse.
He also had a view on what art should do.
Yeah, a strong conviction. Art should do more than just entertain. It should elevate the soul. He saw the artist as a kind of moral teacher, using beauty to uplift society, reflecting character through their creations.
Okay, so moving beyond just, achieving things or making stuff, Smiles gets deeper into character itself,
Fundamentally, yes. Chapter 7 untacks the dignity of labor,
contracting it with.
the emptiness, as he saw it, of just inheriting privilege. He argues true honor doesn't come from your family name or what you're born into. It comes from what you build.
Through your own work.
Your own hands, your own mind. He introduces this idea of the aristocracy of character.
Aristocracy of character, I like that.
Yeah, it's a nobility forged through hard work, through service, and he considered that far more valuable than any title or fortune.
That really makes you think about our own society, doesn't it? Do we truly honor the builders, the contributors? Or are we still, maybe subconsciously, hung up on inherited status?
It's a good question. Smiles was clear. The blacksmith, the weaver, if they have integrity in industry, they're just as noble as a general or a lord.
So how do you actually do all this? Build this character, achieve these things. Smiles points to two key forces in Chapter 8.
Energy and moral courage.
Okay, define energy in his terms.
He calls it the soul of progress. It's that person who acts, gets up early, pursues goals vigorously, isn't put off by obstacles, just keeps going.
And courage, not just physical courage, I assume.
No, moral strength, that's what fuels the energy. The ability to stand alone if you have to speak the truth even when it's unpopular, and crucially, to face the consequences.
He must have some powerful examples for this.
Oh, yeah. Think William Wilberforce, fighting against slavery for decades. Florence Nightingale, revolutionizing nursing against huge opposition.
They changed the world.
Exactly. Not through convenience, not by being popular, but through sheer, unflinching moral courage, taking on causes that were deeply unpopular back then.
Another key pillar seems to be self-culture. Chapter 9.
The power of self-culture. Smiles insists education isn't just something schools do to you.
It's lifelong.
Lifelong, deliberate pursuit of learning and personal growth. Self-culture. It's essential for everyone, he argues.
And his prime example?
Benjamin Franklin. A classic autodidact, totally self-taught, devoured books, debated ideas, wrote constantly, basically built his own education piece by piece.
So Smiles is really encouraging everyone you listening right now.
Absolutely. Read daily, think critically, develop good habits no matter what your circumstances are. He knew the working class faced real difficulties, of course.
But he insisted.
He passionately insisted that every single individual, no matter how humble their start, has the power to improve themselves, little by little, day by day.
That phrase again. And as you're on this journey, this path of self-improvement, Smiles highlights something else in Chapter 10, the impact of example.
Yeah, hugely important. He says one of the most powerful influences in life is simply the models we choose, the people we look up to.
So choose your company wisely.
Definitely. Surround yourself with people of integrity, energy, vision, and read biographies. Study the lives of great men and women. Not to copy them blindly, though. That's key.
Right. Emulate their virtues, learn from their journeys, but don't just mimic.
Exactly. He warns against imitation without real understanding. True self-help is about drawing inspiration, internalizing principles, not just, copying actions or chasing external stuff.
Okay, so after all this, perseverance, application, energy, courage, self-culture, what does it all boil down to for you, the individual?
It all comes back to Chapter 11. Character as the ultimate success.
The ultimate goal.
It's truly the heart of Smiles' entire philosophy.
Yeah.
The bedrock, all lasting success, he believes, is built on character.
And how is character built, according to him? Not overnight, I guess.
Definitely not. It's built from the accumulation of daily decisions, small choices, choosing honesty over lies, work over laziness, humility over arrogance, day in, day out.
It's expressed in the little things.
Exactly. Not in grand gestures or big pronouncements, but in consistency, in kindness, in that quiet inner strength. Smiles powerfully reinforces that true greatness is ultimately moral.
Titles fade,
Wealth can vanish.
but character endures.
It endures. And maybe most powerfully, it influences generations to come. It's your most lasting legacy.
Wow. So as we close this deep dive, we're really left with the enduring wisdom of Samuel Smiles' self-help, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
It's this powerful callback back to the inner life, personal responsibility, diligence, virtue, especially in a world that often seems to look for quick fixes or, external validation.
It's a simple message, but profoundly challenging. You really do have the power, he argues, to shape your destiny, rise above your circumstances, and in doing so, become a kind of beacon of hope for others.
So here's a final thought for you to mull over, something building on his message. Your life is your message.
What story of effort, honor, and hope will yours tell?
Let this deep dive inspire you to take that next step. For more insights into powerful ideas like these, remember you can click the link below in the description to subscribe to Audible.
Yeah, great place to find audiobooks and more deep dives.
You'll get access to your first month free. Enjoy a wide variety, including, of course, Self-Help by Samuel Smiles.